You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead. Try that with me. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
Don't give up hope.
Don't give up hope.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Don't you give up.
Don't you give up.
Keep moving on.
Keep moving on. Come on now. You got one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot a little faster, lover, and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other. And come on, Sammy.
Lift up your eyes.
Lift up your eyes.
Don't you despair.
Don't you despair.
Look up ahead.
Look up ahead.
The path is there.
The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
I know you're scared.
I know you're scared,
And I'm scared too.
and I'm scared too,
But here I am.
but here I am,
Right next to you.
right next to you. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. And lead with, one more time, come on, and lead with love. Thank you. That's the Church in Ocean Park Choir.
Well, as you came through this historic district today with buildings erected since 1910, you may be wondering if you are welcome here. Well, yes, the old architecture welcomes the new facelift in front, and we bid you welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My sister from Trinidad called me recently and wished me happy winter solstice. Of course, I was born in the southern hemisphere, and now I'm in the northern hemisphere. It is summer solstice, so I'm both 20 degrees north and 20 degrees south, but sometimes dizzy or tizzy, busy or frizzy. Here you can find solace in the solstice. And so we welcome you. We have here a multi-faith community dedicated to social justice. And you may still be wondering if you are welcome here. Well, you are welcome if you are Jewish, Buddhist, atheist, Christian, agnostic, or as one patient told me the other day, religious atheist. Whatever you may be, you're welcome here. You're welcome if you're married, divorced, single, queer, transgender, cisgender. You're all welcome to the church in Ocean Park. You're welcome if you just came from a protest march, or if you just came in from the Juneteenth celebrations, or if you were never been to any of them, you're welcome. We don't care if you're as ceremonial as the King of England, as religious as an archbishop, or as humorous as Chris Rock. You're welcome to the church in Ocean Park. We extend a special invitation to those who are experiencing strange climate change and are adversely affected by these climate changes. And of course, we welcome those to even other stranger situations, strange leadership changes in our countries. These are strange times. But we have your back at the church in Ocean Park. I recognize those who feel we had to invent artificial intelligence because real intelligence is running out. We offer a special invitation to those who need prayer right now. We invite soccer moms, tree huggers, latte sippers, vegetarians, fast food eaters. Welcome. We welcome the mothers and fathers, the grandmothers, grandfathers. We welcome the spirit of our forefathers and mothers. We invite writers, singers, dancers, technicians, Zoomers, and we welcome you. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park. Welcome. Now, as you heard, Reverend Janet is not here today. She is with family, and we have to be with family sometimes. During my own ministry, I sort of neglected the family a lot of times. Church, 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 church. But we have to be with family. I think one of her, they're celebrating a birthday in the family, and also someone broke their hand and feet. So she's there to assist and help out. But if she were here, she would let you know that she has a special welcome as well from the pastor. And we welcome you specially because from the head of the church, because we want to make sure that you find a pleasant atmosphere and welcome here. You may not agree with everything you hear. If there are 40 people here and one person stresses you out or says something or does something to the contrary, don't let that spook you out. 39 out of 40 is a good percentage. You will never find perfection, absolute perfection anywhere, but let not the one or two drive you away, because we have a very welcoming community. We start from the ground up with changes that we have to make. We invite a person to come forward and present a play or present an event that they would like to have done, and they can do that right in the service and get 2 or 3 other persons to volunteer, and so our programs get started. One of the good programs get started that way is the encouragement group that we have. It started as a bereavement group, and now it's the encouragement group. So even in times, in this situation of bereavement and stress, we find encouragement and hope. And of course, you'll hear a lot more of that in the message that we have this morning. So I bid you special welcome, and we are going to take a nice deep breath as we sing the Thich Nhat Hanh. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now, 3 times. I have arrived. I am home in the river and in the dawn. I have arrived. I am home in the here and in the now. Before we invite our music director, we just want to also mention that we, the people of the church in Ocean Park, recognize that our building here in Santa Monica, California, sits on stolen land. We, the settlers of this land, honor the Quiche, the Tongva, and the Chumash peoples. We acknowledge the harms of genocide, enslavement, forced assimilation, gender violence, the destruction of sacred sites, the burial of historic truths, indigenous suffering at the hands of settler colonialism. We acknowledge also that our communities and country were built on the backs of people stolen from Africa, placed into bondage, and forced into labor. We acknowledge that we benefit from this labor that has never been repaid, and so in acknowledgement, let us commit ourselves to healing by helping to create a more just, equitable world through the struggle of changing how we do things that we see as normal and that support the systems that oppress us. So we apologize for this harm by pledging ourselves to be part of the culture of repair. So we say thanks be to God. Sister.
Okay, I'd like to do a song by the great Ricky Byers from Agape Church. She's a songwriter and choir leader and singer. Fabulous. You've heard this before, so sing with me. I release and I let go. I let spirit run my life, and my arms are open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I feel the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. That's the whole song. I release and I let go. I let spirit. I let spirit run my life, and my arms are open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. I am only here for God. I release and I let go. I let spirit run my life, and my arms are open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Thank you, thank you. All right. And now it is my pleasure to, what happened? Nate, help. This happens every Sunday. I don't know. I just can't seem to get it right. What did I do, Nate? This is embarrassing. Okay. What do I do?
Just be patient with me.
Okay, let's take this off, and we'll take the whole thing off. How embarrassing. But Church in Ocean Park is a kind of place where we can be vulnerable. You know, let's just put this right down here. Thank you, Samantha. All right, everybody needs a little help.
Wait.
This is funny.
Do you still want this?
No, I'll hold that for now. I'll just use this for now. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker. Let me take a deep breath. A little vulnerability. Never hurt anybody, right? Okay. So I want to tell you about our guest speaker, Ifé Mora. Ifé Mora. Ifé Mora is a somatic experiencing practitioner, spiritual counselor, coach, and founder of One Soma LLC and One Soma Institute, organizations dedicated to bringing integrative somatic healing and trauma-informed education to individuals, communities, and institutions. With a background in psychology and over 7,000 clinical hours, Ifé specializes in helping individuals resolve trauma, build resilience, and cultivate mental, spiritual, and physical wellness by restoring a harmonious connection among mind, body, spirit, and nervous system. Her clinical approach weaves together somatic experiencing, polyvagal theory, Buddhist mindfulness, ancient wisdom traditions, movement, touch, sound healing, and visualization to release stored trauma from the body and support lasting nervous system regulation. Whether working one-on-one with clients, leading workshops, or facilitating retreats, Ifé equips those she works with to develop self-regulation, deepen self-trust, and return to their authentic life vitality and aliveness. Where have you been all my life? I mean, Ifé is also deeply rooted in healing justice work through her partnership with Dignity and Power Now. She supports individuals and families impacted by law enforcement and incarceration in resolving trauma and reclaiming wholeness. A professional musician, Ifé understands the profound relationship between science, spirituality, faith, music, and healing. Oh, I'm with you. And brings that integrative lens to every dimension of her work. Please welcome Ifé Mora. Come on up. Sure.
Thank you, Louise, for that warm welcome. I really appreciate that. And thank you, Chaplain Joseph, as well. It's really wonderful to be here. I'm joined today by my dear husband, Dr. Terrence Keel, who came here a couple weeks ago to talk, and my mother, Teresa Mora, who's visiting us from Mexico. So thank you both for being here. I'd like to start by just taking a moment, if you're willing, the invitation here is just to simply set an intention. I'm a practitioner, healer of trauma, and I always like to start anything that I do by setting an intention of what you would like to have happen. Even in this short amount of time, we have the ability of tapping into infinite possibilities for our lives, for what we would like in our lives, and for healing. So just for a moment, I'd like to invite you to, if it's comfortable for you to close your eyes, you can also keep your eyes open, and just set an intention of, for our healing work today, what would you like to have happen? Beautiful. I invite you to slowly open your eyes, coming back to this space, to this container. My name is Ifé Mora. I am what is called a Somatic Experiencing Practitioner, trained under Dr. Peter Levine. He's one of our top teachers and researchers in the field of healing trauma with somatics. And so what is somatics? So some of you might already be familiar with somatics, but somatics is basically being able to be in your body and understand how to be present in your body for healing, for life vitality, for enjoyment, for grieving, for whatever it may be, to be able to have the experience of being in your body. Our bodies are our home, and I really appreciate the Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh, thank you, Chaplain, for guiding us through that song. I follow his work and integrate his work into my work as well. He often talks about the here and now, being present in the body as your home and coming back to home. And so I entitled this talk today, Coming Home to Yourself, because this is what I help people do. I help people to allow them to feel safe enough to come back home to your body. One might think, oh, well, that's not really a big deal to come home to your body. But the problem is that trauma or chronic stress or acute stress disembodies us. It disconnects us from our bodies. And we need our bodies because our bodies are our homes, and they're constantly trying to communicate with us what they need for us to be complete as human beings living this very human experience in Earth School, as my mom likes to say. So healing trauma and returning to wholeness. So who am I? I'm a somatic experiencing practitioner, but I'm also a somatic healer. I'm a teacher of nervous system education. I teach people about how trauma and chronic stress have impacted their bodies, their nervous systems, their health. I train coaches, and I go around and create and facilitate collective healing circles where we have the opportunities to come together and heal collectively. Most of us have experienced a lot of trauma collectively, and I believe the approach and the solution is to heal collectively. So we call that the neurobiology of healing trauma because it incorporates the nervous system, that fight, flight, freeze response that you always hear so much about. And it also incorporates the brain, which the nervous system is part of the brain. I grew up practicing Mahayana in the Mahayana tradition, Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. Some of you are already familiar with that. But I also travel a lot to the Maya land in Quintana Roo, Mexico. My father's from Mexico, and I am part indigenous Purépecha from Michoacán. So I have found teachers, curanderas, in Mexico that I've followed in their traditions of the indigenous Mesoamerican people of that land. I have a background in psychology, and I have a private practice where I work one-on-one with people as well, helping them to resolve trauma. The body holds the truth of our lives. We have self-healing capacity. We can communicate with our bodies to heal. Our bodies are trying to communicate with us for life vitality and healing. But chronic stress and trauma disconnect us from our bodies. Healing happens not by thinking our way out, right, which is what contemporary psychology and Western philosophy and medicine will have us thinking, that we can think our way out of healing. But this is not actually possible, or to healing. Healing happens by experiencing our way into connection with all parts of ourselves, mind, body, and spirit, and all the parts too that are filled with shame and feel uncomfortable. Those parts matter as well. And into connection with creation, the universe, and God. I believe our bodies are vessels to communicate with the Creator, with God, with the universe. And in order to be able to align ourselves with creation, the God and universe. We must become whole, we must heal, we must tap into that life vitality that exists within us, that we are the microcosms of the macrocosms of God and the universe, that we can align ourselves with the Creator and create the type of lives in the world and society, environments that we would like to live in. So a note to you all, please take care of yourself during this lecture, even though it's a very short lecture, because we are talking about a very activating subject, such as trauma. So I'd like to invite you to take care of yourself in any way that you need to, whether it's getting up, moving around. Please don't hesitate to also raise a hand or reach out. I normally am closer to the people I'm working with, and I feel some distance here, but please feel free to raise a hand, and I will come to you and support you in any way you need. So we begin with just talking about what is trauma. So trauma is not what happened to you, but what happened inside of you as a result of what happened, and a lack of a compassionate witness, meaning that we all need the compassionate witness to observe and to witness our suffering, our trauma, and our pain. This in and of itself is healing. So trauma is not the event. Trauma is the incomplete biological response to an overwhelming experience, survival energy that got activated and never got a chance to complete itself. The body prepared to fight or to flee. If it couldn't sustain either, it shifted into the most ancient response, the freeze response, or shutdown collapse response. So that just means that when we experience something in our environment that feels threatening for our systems charge up and rev up in a physiological threat response. It allocates energy from our immune system and puts it into our musculoskeletal system. It prepares us to flee or to fight the threat. If our physiology cannot flee or fight the threat, it would shut down into a collapse. It does that because our nervous systems are ancient and wise. They know how to keep us alive. If that charge that charges up in our systems is not decharged or discharged or deactivated, if it stores in our systems, then that is what becomes trauma. Why does it get stored in our systems? Because we have been conditioned in the West or in modern society, in contemporary society, to not allow the discharge to take place. That looks like trembling, shaking, crying. When we experience something so overwhelming for our systems that it overwhelms our ability to process, and our systems shut down into a collapsed survival response, our bodies need to shake out that charge, cry out that charge, yawn out that charge, laugh out that charge. But we have been conditioned, don't cry, suck it up, right? Sweep it under the rug. I'll give you something to cry about. That's a big one. Store it in your body. Keep it suppressed in there. This is what trauma is. This is what creates trauma. It's stored as procedural memory. That's the kind of memory when you learn how to speak a language or ride a bike or drive. It's that memory that's automatic that we don't have to think about. So if you go through something and it's stored in your body and it's not discharged, then your body thinks, oh, we need to hold on to this. This is something that is important that we need to hold on to because it's to do with survival, right? So it holds on to it and it remembers it procedurally. We also call that somatic memory. So every time something happens that reminds your system, your nervous system, your body, your brain of that overwhelming event that never got a chance to complete, it will move into a survival threat response. It will brace, it will tighten up, it will become rigid, right? It will activate. It will go into the threat response that it went into when the actual event happened. Your brain and nervous system does not know that that you're not back then when the event first took place. It thinks that the threat is happening in the present moment. This is not fair for the system because this creates adaptive survival responses that then create maybe a life that you don't want to live. Self-sabotaging, being angry when there's really no reason to be angry, right? Or judgmental, or overly critical, or hypervigilant, or shut down. When you really just want to be living a good life where you can be out and it feels safe to live and get curious. But trauma takes that away because it lives in the body as procedural memory. So long after the threat has passed, and then we call this a trigger, something reminds the body, not the mind, the body of that original experience, a sound, a tone of voice, a quality of life. And the nervous system responds as if the threat is happening right now. This is the trigger. This is also unresolved trauma that is longing for healing, right? Discharge is the body's natural completion. Well, so what happens in nature when a gazelle escapes a lion? It does not go home and ruminate. It stops, it shakes, it trembles, it allows the body to discharge the survival energy of that experience. And then it returns to the herd and grazes, again, like nothing ever happened, right? It allows the nervous system to do what it's designed to do, to keep it alive and to survive threats, right? But we don't do that when we have unresolved trauma. We're always hypervigilant. Where's the threat? Where's the threat? Where's the threat? You know, so worried about the threat because of the unresolved trauma that we're not living our lives. So this is why healing unresolved trauma is so very important. So we can be like the gazelles and go and graze again and be in the here and now as opposed to doing. Returning to your home and being in the here and now and appreciating what life in the here and now has to offer. I've put some examples, if you can see, of just the different ways that you can allow your body to discharge trauma. So how trauma disconnects us. Ancient traditions have always known, native cosmologies have always known, Buddhist teachings have always known that the embodied state, it's the state for healing. It's a cause and effect relationship. When trauma occurs, the nervous system armors itself against sensations that feel too dangerous to feel. The armor that protects us from this pain also insulates us from the wisdom. The numbness that kept us from being overwhelmed also keeps us from being guided. The disconnection that once saved our lives keeps us now from living full lives, right? So the answer is that we learn to be guided or guide ourselves back into our bodies very, very slowly to experience more safety internally, and then for allowing a little bit of that deactivation of charge of the past that we hold and carry in our bodies to release. We want to become embodied for the sake of healing, and remember that our past experiences that overwhelmed our capacities to heal, to cope, to process, has disembodied us and disconnected us from our bodies. When we lose access to the body, we lose access to the very channel through which the divine most often speaks. The still small voice, the peace that passes understanding, the knowing that arrives before language. Trauma does not just wound us, it quiets the very instrument through which we receive our deepest guidance. So, as we end the lecture today, I'd like to invite you to think of your body as a container, okay? Your body is holding a lot. It's holding past memories. It's holding the experience of past memories. It's holding energy called arousal. It's holding joy. It's holding your ancestors through the epigenome, the epigenetics, and genetically and through your DNA. It's holding the spirit of your ancestors. And it's holding the future. It's holding a lot. And so we contain this in our bodies. People who experience difficult sensations, pain, chronic pain, manifestations of trauma, we unconsciously and reflexively disconnect ourselves from our bodies. This is for survival. So I say this not to shame you. I say this to bring awareness. So maybe you can move into these practices for healing. Our bodies are a container that expand and contract. With our inhalation, we contract. With our exhalation, we expand. Everything in the physical universe expands and contracts. With expansion, we breathe out into the world. With contraction, we breathe in the world. Contraction, we expand out. We fill the spaciousness and the healing potential in our bodies. We breathe in, we feel and fill up our bodies with air. We expand out, we breathe out, we expand our life vitality, our potential, our dreams, our goals, our desires. We expand them out into the universe. We connect with other beings, like-minded, like in this beautiful space today. We breathe in life. We fill up our container with life. In this work, we understand the body as a container that holds sensation and emotion. Our work is to be with what arises, to observe it, notice it, track it, and through that practice to build capacity, ever-expanding capacity, expanding container, like the expanding universe. We are microcosms of the macrocosm of the expanding universe. No matter how old you are, no matter what your ailments are, you have the ability to constantly expand. No matter what limitations, you have the ability to constantly expand like the universe. We are not only learning to tolerate our experience, we are building the container itself, a safe container, strengthening its ability to hold larger states of arousal energy that might not feel that comfortable. But that is who we are. That is part of the experience of life, so that we can expand and keep expanding. The container is not fixed, it grows. It is not a cage the soul is trapped inside. It is the very site of liberation and capacity building. As we feel safe enough to stay present and more of our experience, the container widens, and with it, our capacity to feel, to live, to reach toward what we long for. And so with that, we were never really gone. We were simply waiting for it to feel safe enough to come home. So this is not a talk about fixing what is broken. It's an invitation to remember what has already and always been whole. Okay? So do I have enough time to guide people through a short somatic practice? Yeah? Okay. So you all have, and please take these home. This is a little short somatic healing practice I put together for everyone. And if you don't have one on your chair, please grab one from another chair. And so the invitation here is to just allow yourself to simply be, okay? Without judgment. If it feels right for you, please, I'd like to invite you to close your eyes, but it also is fine to keep your eyes open or even slightly open, which is the tradition of Zen Buddhism, to just close your eyes just a little bit. This is a practice I use for healing betrayal trauma, which a lot in social justice, we look at healing betrayal because we've been betrayed by a lot of institutions, a lot of social structures. So I like to think about how we can heal collectively from institutions, organizations, and social structures that have created trauma for us. So this is a somatic mind, body, and embodiment approach that can help you to begin your healing journey in a somatic way. So first, I'd like to invite you to sit quietly with your body. Imagine putting your mind into your body. Feel into what is supporting your body. Maybe the floor, a chair, right? Or you can just start to simply feel your feet connected to the floor. Maybe pushing feet into the floor slightly. Feeling your body supported by your chair. Noticing how the chair supports your back, seat bones, and legs. And giving yourself permission that it's safe enough in this space with all of these beautiful souls to let go just for a moment and to settle into the support your body is receiving. Notice your jaw, and the invitation here is to invite your own jaw to soften. Trauma takes away our agency, so it is important to give our bodies back consent and agency. Inviting your jaw to soften without overextending. Inviting your tongue to drop from the roof of your mouth. Notice what shifts in your body just from that alone. Inviting your pelvic floor to soften. Inviting your belly to extend a bit and soften. Inviting your shoulders to maybe roll back a bit and soften. Noticing if a breath comes in here. That is your nervous system settling. Now notice the sensations in your body. Notice what sensations you experience in your body when you think of a simple place where you can always return to that brings you peace and settles your nervous system, like the church in Ocean Park. But also this place can be real or fictional. A place for many people that feels safe is being in water or a park or somewhere else in nature. I'd like to invite you to that place. Do you experience lightness, expansion, or warmth sensations in your body when you are in this place? Or what other sensations do you experience here? Let's stay with this experience for a little minute, for a little while. Noticing as well the environment, taking a look around in your mind's eye, or if your eyes are open, taking in this environment. Noticing the sounds of safety in this environment. Taking a deep breath in, smelling the smells of safety and grounding. What do you hear? What do you see? What do you smell? And what do you taste? What is the tactile experience of this environment? Just taking a moment to notice. Now, I'd like to invite you to gently place your hands on areas of your body where you're noticing your body responding to this work. It could be a hand on the heart, a hand on the belly. It could be two hands on the heart. It can be your arms are wrapped around your body in a self-hug, and we call that a safe container posture. Noticing how this connection to self feels. What is the experience of this connection, of this gentleness, of this embrace? If you begin to tremble or shake or have a yawn that's coming or a laugh, or I want to invite you to just allow your body to experience whatever is beginning to come up, even if it's just very subtle. attuning to the subtleness of it, and just allowing your body to have that expression, a smile, a breath, a movement. Noticing maybe what's coming up in your mind's eye. And just allowing yourself to be with it in the here and now. Tapping into your breath, not trying to force anything, just noticing your inhale and noticing your exhale. Inhale, exhale. And when you are ready, and only when you are ready, I'd like to invite you to slowly open your eyes. And as you open your eyes, I'd like to invite you just to take a look around the space. We're orienting visually. Look at the beauty of this space. Look at the beautiful people in this room. Taking in the smiles, the faces, the experiences, the colors, the objects. Thank you so much for having me. I'm in deep gratitude to you all. Thank you.
Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn again. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn again. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul. Let's see. Beautiful one, child of the earth and sun, may my love wash over you. May my love watch over you. I behold you, beautiful one. I behold you, child of the earth and sun. May our love wash over you. May my love watch over you. I behold you, beautiful one. I behold you, child of the earth and sun. May our love wash over you. May my love watch over you.
Thank you for this beautiful music. Thank you so much. So beautiful.
Thank you. So we have our time of sharing when we can. Oh, I haven't finished speaking yet, and hands are up. my, okay. All right. So, okay, Craig, you carry on.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Oh my God. One can look at you until you are enlightened.
Oh.
In your eyes, in your cheeks, in your smile, the light beams. Having said that, you speak of roots that I also have to figure were also enlightened, an enlightened society. And in enlightened societies, there's no reason or need for police because there's no such thing as crime.
That's right.
It's tied to our value system.
That's right.
What's so important about this and you in communicating this is the message. But my question comes down to when we deal with trauma as suffered by police, do we focus on the healing or the trauma itself, or does it really matter?
That's such a great question. The reason why somatics is such a powerful healing modality or method or approach that is very ancient in its ways of healing, in this embodied way, is because we don't have to focus on the narrative to heal. We focus on the imprint in our bodies that it has left. Because sometimes we can't remember. Sometimes memory fails, and that's just the way memory is. It's designed that way to protect us from harsh memories that are too overwhelming for us to be with. But it leaves the imprint, and the imprint is what we hold. The imprint is what we stay with, we acknowledge, we connect with, right? We take time to process the imprint. And then we restore, we clear out blocks of survival energy that gets constricted and tight and rigid and blocks life vitality and creates illness. We heal that so we create the space and we can connect to more life vitality in order to be able to continue that good fight that you all beautiful folk are here doing. That law enforcement does not have the right to police our bodies and police our communities and our cities and our states and our country. But we can't fight the good fight if we have all this trauma blocking our energy that's unresolved and unhealed. So we focus on the sensations, the imprint that trauma has left over. Does that answer your question?
I went through a pretty traumatic thing last year. I don't really want to talk about what happened, but I started to work with a therapist who works on nonviolent communication, and which was helpful. And then after that, I started working with a therapist who works with young adults with autism, because I have autism, which has been very helpful for me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So vulnerable. And tell me your names, please. What is your
I'm Kevin.
Kevin, nice to meet you. Tell me your name, good sir.
I'm Craig.
Craig, nice to meet you again, Craig.
The pleasure's mine.
Yeah, thank you. Kevin, thank you for sharing that. So vulnerable. And it takes a lot of courage to share this in a group of people. And it's courageous work that you're doing, your healing journey. You should feel really proud. Yeah.
I would say that you answered it in part, but
Dude, you don't have the mic.
I would say you answered it in part. But what my experience has been, it deserves a much, much deeper dive. And I know you don't have time now. But, you know, when I try and more or less communicate, I'm not always thinking of myself.
Okay.
I'm thinking of people who have gone through something and can't speak to that. So it's a universal question and concept. So, I mean, it's like, because I had a similar conversation with Terrence, I believe. And from what I'm seeing here in the city, what we're about to go through in this society is going to need much of what it is I think you have to offer in that. And I'll leave it there because I expect to talk to you after this is all over with anyway.
Okay, that sounds good. And let's remember what you just mentioned is really important to the solution. We call that in my work co-regulation, where 2 nervous systems heal together, 3 nervous systems heal together, 4 nervous systems heal together. We're co-regulating because healing happens in the presence of a compassionate witness. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't be more grateful. So much of what you talked about and what we experienced reminded me so much of my nonviolent communication training. And I remember oftentimes my trainers and mentors would tell me, you're using NVC too cognitively. You need to be present with yourself and with other people. And I think your exercise really made that real for me. And I'm really grateful, and I often cry when I'm grateful. And this is so amazing because it's an embodied practice of what we cognitively learn. And I could just go on thanking you, but other people want to say something too, so thank you. My name's Daria.
Daria, thank you for sharing. I'm grateful to you too. And it's not your fault that it's all cognition, right? That's the way we've all been taught. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Craig as well, and Kevin's father. And this is,
nice to meet
I mean, this is maybe a little different track, but I found this really valuable because Kevin mentioned something, but his mother, my wife, has been very sick and a number of things. And I'm
so sorry.
Noticed recently, my neck is stiff as all get out. And at first I thought I slept wrong or whatever, but your message today made me realize I'm internalizing something.
Mm-hmm.
And that
you're bracing.
Yeah. And so I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm so sorry to hear about your wife.
Yeah.
What's her name, please?
Claudia.
Claudia, I'll be praying for her.
Thank you.
Yes, you're bracing for her. In your sleep, you probably wake up with this, you know, throughout the day. You're protective over her. You love her, right? And I'm getting emotional for you talking about it. I want to invite you to every day, take your hand, place it here, and just talk to your neck. Tell your neck, I see you. I hear you. I'm here. It's been a long journey. We've survived. We're surviving. We're here. I'm listening. What do you have to say?
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. My name's Jerry.
Nice to meet you, Jerry.
And one of the atheist that's always welcome to the church in Ocean Park.
Yes, we love atheists.
Yes.
They push us. You all push us.
And, but I must say that your talk today, I haven't been here in a while, and glad I came today to hear your talk because it was so positive and so inspiring. I've had a lot of emotional and physical trauma, as so many others have. And I'm 82 now, and
Wow.
recently had my gallbladder removed, and but I'm feeling better. I mean, how does that work? I mean, is it? I'm a believer in medicine.
Me too.
Yeah, and how do we deal with that? With listening to what the doctors say, and also trying to heal ourselves and become better people as time goes by through just your practices as well, without necessarily going to a doctor or going to a hospital. How do we deal with that?
The middle way, as we say in Buddhism, the middle way.
Okay.
We believe in science. Medicine is a great technology. It has helped us to increase our lifespan. It has helped us in ways that that before certain technologies of medicine existed, we were not surviving as long, right? You were able to remove your gallbladder. That's a miracle. And now look at you. No one would ever be able to tell that you just said that you were 82? 80? Your gallbladder was holding. Our organs hold. Our tissues hold. Our musculoskeletal system holds. It holds emotion, it holds trauma, it holds affect, it holds life experiences. And it gave out because it held too much. It was removed, and there's the life vitality that was returned to you. We believe in our self-healing capacity and have agency over our own bodies, as well as go to our doctors and get medical checkups and make sure our health is important. But sometimes medical doctors will take away our agency. They want to tell us that we don't know our own bodies, and we do. And they don't know everything. There's always a question mark. Well, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We run tests. We don't know. Right? So we have to come back home to our bodies and remember that we know our bodies. We know ourselves. And we have agency and empowerment over our own bodies. When we can do that, that taps into our self-healing capacity, because we have to heal along with the preventions and the technology from medicine. Medicine can give us all its technology for healing, but if we don't tap into our own healing capacity to assist in that healing, we are not going to be able to come to full optimal health. So it's the middle way. It's a combination of the two. Thank you for your question. Nice to meet you. Abby.
It's kind of hard to talk about this because the trauma, well, one of the trauma was 60 years ago when somebody, a stranger, assaulted me, and it was rescued by the police. So my attitude towards the police is somewhat different than a lot of the other people at church. But the question I have now, 60 years later, is you were talking about you can complete the resolution. What does it look like when the trauma ends?
That's such a great question. Thank you for that. What it looks like is that the triggers lessen, right? What it looks like is that now it is an event that happened in the past, and it's in the past, and it stays in the past where it belongs. It doesn't haunt you in the present moment. It doesn't show up as triggers and sensations and discomforts that prevent you from doing the things in life that you want to do. living the type of life that you want to live, or being healthy. It's in the past and it remains in the past where it belongs. It's not a haunting experience of the present moment, coming to life as if it's actually happening, like the threat is present and it's not. So when we heal, when we resolve, when we complete the overwhelming experiences that happened, the overwhelming experience that overwhelmed our capacities to process, when we complete and heal, we're able to live more fully in the present without being swept away and taken away from the traumatic event that happened in the past. Because the brain doesn't know that what you perceive, if you're perceiving a threat, that a threat doesn't really exist. The brain will, if the sensory information for you is there, the brain will think that it's really happening in real time. So it will prepare your system to fight the threat in real time or defend the threat in real time. But the threat might not even really be there. It might just be a trigger. So it looks like that's such a great question. It looks like that now we're able to leave it in the past where it belongs. And sometimes there'll be little faint things here and there that'll be like, oof, like, oh, I don't like that. But they're not overwhelming our systems.
Yeah, I think part of the issue is that some of the injuries, like the injury to my jaw, I guess a lot of people have that jaw that connects your skull and your mouth, I guess.
Your pelvic floor.
It's bothering me, and I'm getting treatment for that. And so that part of it is in the present, but I have to keep telling myself, that even though the cause of this is in the past, I don't know what to tell myself.
Right. No, you're on the right track there. That's right. The cause of this is in the past. That event is in the past, and now I can be with my body in the present moment as it heals. I can love the jaw. I can love the whatever feels the discomforts, the injuries, the pain. I can be with it. I can love it. It can expand into it as opposed to contracting to it. It's really difficult to love our bodies when they experience pain and injury and illness. But that is when we have to love our bodies the most. And that love towards our bodies when it is experiencing pain and chronic pain and injury and illness, when it experiences the presence with self-love that it's receiving in a very intentional way, it ignites our self-healing capacity, and our healing begins to take place and is in cooperation with our physical therapists, our doctors, the treatments from the medicine. You yourself are medicine. And that's something you can tell yourself every day. I am the medicine. I am the medicine. Thank you.
Okay, we have one question in the back.
Okay.
Thank you. I think you actually kind of answered my question, but I'll just throw it back at you again. When you were talking about trauma, I was feeling some of those traumas, and like you said, to get into your sensations. And every morning I wake up going through a liturgy of these traumas that I've felt all my life. And they keep coming up and up and up, and it's like rerunning in my head. And it was just rerunning just now when we were talking about trauma. So at that moment, when I'm going through this liturgy of traumas and feeling this sensation, is there something I could do at that moment to try to make it end, or will it ever end?
Yes, it will end. Yes, there's something you can do. So take this home and practice this. Also, we want to bring mind into the body. We are meaning-making machines. Our minds are constantly trying to make meaning and solve and resolve and complete and solve and resolve and complete. And that's why rumination starts to happen. We're just, how can I fix it? How can I fix it? How can I fix it? Right? That's what's happening when you're ruminating. So what we want to do is we want to interrupt that. The impulse to ruminate. You interrupt it, and the way you interrupt it is you consciously bring your mind and drop it into your body. Search for a place, because of trauma, there might be lots of places that feel very constricted, tight, pressure, dense, dark. But search for a place that feels open, expansive, light, airy. And be there. Explore it. Get to know it. Notice the quality of it. Notice what images come up. And then the trauma will come back in and try to bring you back to it. And you say, okay, hi, trauma, I see you. You're there. You brought me back. And now I'm going to move my awareness back into those more resource places of my body. My thighs that might feel more open, or my feet that might feel more, or my chest, or my belly, or my arms that might feel more open, or even an earlobe. If everything is in pain, maybe you have a toe or an earlobe that feels open and expansive. And you just stay there. You meditate there. You get to know that place. And then that place will expand. Because that is the way our physiology is designed, where we want to feel good so we can tap into the healing capacity. So that part of the body that has more space in it will begin to expand and expand into the places in your body that are more constricted. And so you do that every day, and you interrupt that impulse to ruminate over and over and over again. You do that practice every day. Eventually, the reflex becomes not to ruminate, but to do this work until it just becomes what you do. But it does take practice, because we are rewiring the neural pathways in your brain. And in order to override old neural pathways, you have to repeat novelty things over and over and over again. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Online again? Yes?
Hello.
Go, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hi. As you can see, I'm sitting in my car. I just want to add one thing that maybe you can react to. Then I have two little questions. The first is a response to Abby. So it doesn't always stay in the path depending on your trauma. What I found when I got over my sister's drowning, it took 35 years, but I finally got over it. What I found is it became wisdom. So it translates, if you can overcome certain types of trauma, it seems like you can become wisdom, and then you don't run away from people who suffer the same thing. You become a resource.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I don't know. Do you have any comment to that?
I agree with you 1,000%. And I normally do say that it transmutes into wisdom.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it transmutes into wisdom. It transforms into the ability
But it's,
to do what you do, to get up and help other people.
yeah, and that's almost like the hero's journey that you don't even know you're on. Then I put two questions in the chat, and one of them had to do with you talk about the trauma being in your body. Is there a connection with the shadow that Jung and Freud talk about? And then the other question has to do with healing, and it's what are effective practices like mindful meditation, journaling, community grieving, creative arts for healing. So one is about the shadow and the other is about other ways of healing as you've started to talk about today.
Great questions. Yes. So Jung's shadow work and Jung's shadow self. I like to think of that work as, and Jung was a big believer and integrated Eastern philosophy into his work as well, where it was very revolutionary for the time for Western thinkers, philosophers, psychologists, they were psychologists and psychiatrists. And Freud, his earlier work, you will find that he was more about healing from an embodied state. His work changed to appease the higher social economic class who he catered to. So his more popular work shifted over the years. But going back to the shadow work, so shadow work, we can look at it as a part of ourselves. And earlier in my talk, I expressed that we embrace the shadows. We embrace the dark parts. We embrace the ugly parts. We embrace the parts that feel like shame. We embrace all parts because all parts are part of us and part of our experience. And in doing so, we tell our bodies there's nothing to be embarrassed about. There's nothing to feel shame about, right? We unveil the secrets that shame holds us captive to by acknowledging that we do have these shadow parts. And so we embrace them and they become part of the healing. And we transform them and we accept them that is just part of what it means to be human. And so the second question, we like to call in this work resources. Journaling, mindfulness, meditation, going for walks, singing, dancing, anything that you're tapping into these ancient practices, drawing, art, community, praying together, all of these, going for long walks, being near in nature, bodies of water, all of these are resources for healing. And it's important for us to know that what resources are helpful for us, so we can implement these resources daily, because we have a lot of distractions in our world today, and it will pull us away from things that are beautiful resources for healing, like you just mentioned. Yeah, so knowing what our resources is. I like to wake up and sing and meditate, Shruti box, go outside, be with nature, be with the birds. That is my prayer, that is my church. Right, so it used to be when I was a practicing Buddhist to wake up and pray every day and chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. So it's find your resources, dancing, community, singing, laughing, right? And those are all part of the healing practice. Absolutely, 100%. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Okay, so I usually used to talk to myself a lot, and sometimes when people say you're talking to yourself all the time, you're a little off the rocker. But I find it very helpful and very supportive, and I believe your work is more important than mine as a chaplain, because you are dealing with the trauma, helping people to manage the trauma and so on in their bodies and in their psyche now. It is only when the trauma overcomes us and the organs start to fail and the mind starts to get depressed, and you have to go to hospital, it is then the hospital chaplain sort of does some of what you do then, but sometimes it's too late. So you are preventing that enlargement of going into hospital and.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Please give her a round of applause.
Just for a moment, can we just kind of just shake it out a little bit? Just and just
Yes. Shake it out, shake it out. Shake it out.
Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life. Each precious day is a gift to me. I can hardly believe the beauty I see. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life. Each precious day is a gift to me. I can hardly believe the beauty I see. Thank you for my suffering and the wholeness that it brings. Thank you for the trees in spring, for their budding and flowering. Thank you for my frustration, my succumbing to temptation, for my growth and the lack thereof, that lets me know I'm made of love. Thank you for the lessons unending, for the power of surrendering, for my process of growth. For love and hate, I learned from both. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life. Each precious day is a gift to me. I can hardly believe the beauty I see. I can hardly believe the beauty I see.
Good morning. You know, most every week I do stuff. I ask for money. And one thing I realized, there's a QR code on here, but I didn't read what's below that there are 4 ways to donate. So I'm just going to say them and then pass this around. And there's the QR code. You can also text to give. There's a number on here. You can go to our website, or that old-fashioned, what's that, is cash. So anything you can do keeps us going and supports us. Yes, Craig, thank you. Remember what that is.
Soothe me, baby, soothe me. Soothe me with your kindness. For you know your powerful loving is soothing to me. Soothe me, baby, soothe me. Soothe me with your kindness. For you know your powerful loving is soothing.
So it happens that I have to do bread today, too.
How do you like that?
Okay. Now, the name of this bread is called Seducing Bread. It is called Seducing Bread. SWDUCING. Seducing bread. Well, it has some seeds on it, so I hope you find it not too distasteful. So my bread today is just to recite a poem, a very short poem written by Robert Frost. Robert Frost is my favorite poet. He was born in 1874 and he died in 1963 at the age of 96 or somewhere there. But the poem is called Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Whose woods are these? I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other song is the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. And miles to go before I sleep. That's the poem.
Thank you.
It's a great poem, and my main theme for years now, I think since I was in seminary, I have miles to go before I sleep. Promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. So here the man is on the horse, and they get sidetracked because it's a snowy day, it's dark, it's stormy, and even the horse he's riding realizes that this is not the right place. And the horse, the little horse must think it queer to stop by a farmhouse so near. So even the horse felt that they were lost. And as he looks at the scene before him, he says, the woods are lovely, yes, but dark and deep. So that is our experience, I think. You know, sometimes we lose our ways. Sometimes we do the wrong thing. Sometimes we say the wrong things. Sometimes we are lost. And we find ourselves in a deep, dark place. But we still go forward because we know we have promises to keep. We have family to care for. We have people to love. We have friends to meet. We have promises to keep. And I'm not going to die now. I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. That's my poem.
Circle, make a circle, let's make a circle. Make a circle, let's make a circle. Where's Izzy? She likes to sing this. Make a circle, make a circle, make a circle, make.
Okay, we start with joys and concerns. Joys? Yes? Up our hands. And those on Zoom, unplug. And we say together after 3, 1, 2, 3, carry on.